Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest all the way from Brisbane, Australia, and he is Tim Stokes. Tim is the founder of Profit for Transformations. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Tim Stokes. Tim,
Hi,
welcome.
Siddique. Hi, Siddique. Thanks for the welcome. It's great to be on your show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to start Profit for Transformation?
I started in business pretty early, so I was about 20 at the time. I had a partner. I had only just been in the workforce actually because I'd sort of started university, then dropped out. And the partner was a very entrepreneurial guy. It was a bit like the rich dad, poor dad. He was like the rich dad. Yeah. He was a very entrepreneurial guy, and he said, I think we should go into business. Oh, okay. And then about a year later, he decided to leave me on my own, and being quite young and very naive and very introverted and very quiet, it was a bit of a tough slog for a while. And I think it took about 7 years before I realized I didn't know anything about how to run a business. And I was fortunate to have an accountant that said, here's a good book for you to read, which happened to be Michael Gerber's E-Myth Revisited. And I read that book. It really opened my eyes. I ended up doing a 2-day workshop with Michael Gerber live in Sydney, which is where I was operating at the time and living at the time. And then I realized there's this topic called business that has got nothing to do with an industry. It's just business and management. And started to think, gee, now that I know what I don't know, I better go and learn it. So I started to learn what this topic called marketing was. I did a J. Abraham workshop, highest paid marketer of the 80s and 90s. A lot of people don't know these days. And learned a lot about this thing called copywriting and marketing and offers and measuring as well. And measuring fascinated me. So all these sort of things came together. And then I started applying them into the business I had, which is a tree service business at the time. And profits went up, sales went up, stress went down. The business was very systematic, making really good money, but I knew that I didn't want to stay in that industry because I had all this knowledge on business. And there was a company called Action International at the time that were a sales and marketing company, and they said, we're looking for 10 people that want to become business coaches from Australia or New Zealand. I thought I tick all the boxes because I'd learned about business as a subject. I applied. I was one of 10 selected in 1997. And the two words business and coach didn't exist at all in the marketplace then. So it's exciting times. I started working with businesses. As soon as I worked with them, I instantly started making money because I thought, I don't know that much, but I thought everyone would know what I knew because it was readily available. You just had to pay for it and go and find people that knew it. And I found no one knew what I knew. So it's very easy to help businesses to make a lot of money really quick. And that got me very inspired. And then I met a manager of a newspaper company that was owned by Rupert Murdoch. And I saw the management reports that a billionaire uses to run 23 separate businesses in Australia while he was in the United States. And that really inspired me to understand that good business is about good metrics and understanding numbers and weekly reports. None of this looking at a P&L once a month. And so that's what really got me going, was that experience to how a billionaire thinks, the great entrepreneurs of J. Abraham, Michael Gerber, etc. And then the industry grew. I appeared in national business magazines from about 1999 to about 2010 when magazines started to taper off a bit. Client case studies, I grew businesses by 1,200% in 6 months, things like that. And I started to get a bit of a reputation, a bit of a track record, and it was all good fun. Then one day I moved to Brisbane in about 2004, and it's a bit more relaxed and a bit more enjoyable up here. So just carried on from there.
Yeah, no, wonderful, Tim. I appreciate all the people you mentioned the names. I have honored to learn from them directly. So we have the same people, same type of people, and mentors, and learn from them directly. You mentioned about the billionaire, the 28 businesses. I'm learning from right now. He is my mentor and my business partner. He's a reckless billionaire, Mr. O. He owns over 48 businesses and $10 billion worth with 160 miles of beachfront properties in the US and all around the world. So right now he is in one Mystique project working on 4,000 acres safe city building in Tennessee. So it's fascinating to learn with them together how they think, how to think like a
Absolutely.
billionaire, how to act
Yeah.
on those parts like a billionaire do. That's amazing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been a very enjoyable, and I love working with businesses. And I don't tend to work with many businesses at all over about 20 million in revenue, but I'm very happy to play in that smaller arena. I really love it. I really enjoy it. It's where it's the toughest, I think. To go from one employee to, or on your own to one employee, is a giant leap. You're doubling your business size in one step, and that's not
Yeah.
easy for a lot of people. So I don't mind if they're solo operators all the way through to 10 or 20 or 50 employees. I find that's my groove, if you like.
Mhm.
So yeah, very enjoyable.
Wonderful. So Tim, like you are like a pro in advising other businesses. You are the managing director of Profit for Transformations. I'm sure you learned some, you know, some missteps to avoid when you're actually growing your business. So as a business owner, what are the top three missteps to avoid that will hinder their growth?
Okay, big one is obviously marketing. And I find that business owners will happily pay for it, but they've almost paid nothing to learn about it. So they're employing all these marketers. They know nothing about what they're doing, and they just keep getting ripped off. They just keep burning money after money after money. And I found that I don't need to get clients to spend any money on marketing when I first start working, because it's so poorly executed. Their websites are poor. Everything they do is just poor quality. And there's so many people that are sharks in the marketplace that they just, because they don't need to know much. If you've got a client that doesn't know much, you don't need to know much. And so they call themselves an expert when they've had 2 years experience.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about basic marketing principles. So marketing is the first one. Second one is measuring. We all have opinions. And once someone said to me, we all have opinions, and they're like armpits,
Yeah.
underarm. Everyone's got them, and most of them are smelly. And so our opinions get in the way of our progress constantly. Some people are blessed with insights on how to run a business, and that's probably 5% of people. The 95% think that they know what they're talking about, and they're just guessing all the time. And I found that most business owners operate with a very substantial amount of doubt, and they're guessing nearly all the time. They're guessing about marketing. They're guessing about what's a good employee. They're guessing about pricing. They're guessing about what they need to do to grow their business. So I see you need to measure, get some facts, get some numbers. And that's what I learned from the Rupert Murdoch business reports that I saw. It's all about numbers, and numbers reveal incredible opportunities. And so that's the second one, is understand numbers and metrics and learn it, because you're in business and numbers are really important. The third one I would say is set big goals. Nearly every business owner I meet, if I say, what's your vision? What's your goal? 5 years time. Almost no one can say, this is it. This is what I'm aiming for. They're like, oh, and they hesitate. And so they don't set big goals. And someone once said a long time ago, it's just as easy to do big goals or pursue big goals as what it is to pursue small ones. It takes a similar amount of effort. And I found it's easier to grow a business fast than what it is slow. So why not go for big ones instead of going for small ones? Look for the opportunities in big ones. Set the gap of where you want to be to where you are, and then what are the steps to get there? And that's called strategy. So that's a big one. They're ambling through life, ambling through business. Their businesses grow by accident, as against having clear intention, clear goals, and working towards achieving them. So I find those are three good ingredients, I think, that are relevant.
Yeah, wonderful. Especially when they are so scared to have a big goals because, oh my God, it's unachievable. Even though, let's say you don't achieve it, still they will be, whatever this little goal they are setting, they will achieve a lot more than that one, you know.
I find that when you set a goal, your unconscious mind will identify ways to help you to achieve it, which is what Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book's all about. I read that over and over and over and over and over and over. And it elevates your consciousness to a higher level where your mind is activated to see the ways to achieve it. But it starts with the big goal. But most people go, if I don't know how to achieve a big goal, there's no point setting a big goal.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's the other way around. So, yeah.
That is true. So you already alluded to one failure in your, in your early business partnership, that your partner left you in early age. And after that, once you, being a founder of Profit Transformation, after that, if you like to share any business failure you had, your professional failure you like to share with us, anything you learned from it, and how did you recover from it?
Well, I've had so many. It's hard to identify one or two. Let me have a think. I've been in 4 partnerships, and the failure was really lack of understanding of people. So I had an employee once in my tree service business that people actually warned me, don't hire him, don't hire him, don't hire him. I hired him, and I ended up giving my work vehicle and ended up stealing my equipment and nearly put me out of business. And I could have blamed him for it, but I thought, well, I'm the dummy that hired him. And it's the same with business partnerships that haven't worked out. Most of the time I've been screwed. And so I've learned that when partnerships don't work out, it's because of naivety and a lack of understanding of basic principles of business. So having been in the business with a few people, my biggest mistake was my naivety of not understanding their agendas, their goals, and how different we were in our perspective and what our goals were. And so that's where it's really bit me sometimes. I've lost money, hasn't worked out, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, all that sort of thing. And it's being too naive is the word, too trusting of people instead of opening up, asking them specific questions from the start and getting specific answers to get clarity. And clarity leads to confidence. So it's that lack of clarity I find is what's hurt me. And that's from not having the courage to ask certain questions of people to get specific answers. So I think that's a big one for me.
That's a great lesson. I appreciate being vulnerable and sharing with us so we can learn from that, So lesson learned, when you go for a partnership, ask specific questions, get the specific answers, seek out a clarity. And then once everything is aligned, then go form a partnership. Otherwise, walk away as a friend. No harm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I don't mind alliances, but not as a business partner. So business partnership days are long gone, but alliances, that's very different.
Yeah, because they are only assigned working with one line common, which you both want to achieve. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wonderful. It doesn't work out, just cut that. You're still going. Everybody's working on their own. So great. So let's switch the side of your, on a success side. Enough about failures. So what are the top 3 success secrets about your profit transformation, like a mantra and methodology, and anyone, the clients who adapt it, they become successful?
Okay. The first one was one that I don't know who it was, but someone sort of said business is all about people. Because your customers are people, your employees are people, suppliers are people. Mm-hmm. So learn about people. We should all be studying psychology before we go into business.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big one for me, because in 1998, all I did was study people and learn how to build rapport. I got into this new industry, 1997. It's specifically sales leadership orientated. And then I learned that selling is actual leadership. And I worked a lot on myself, did a psychology course, and what I learned absolutely blew my mind. It blew everyone's mind that knew me. I could sum people up in the first 2 seconds of having talked to them on the phone. I knew how their businesses were running a lot of the times within 2 seconds of meeting them on the phone, because I identified their profiles that fast. People called me scary because I knew what problems were going on in their business really quick. So people helps you with marketing. It helps you with recruitment. When you can read people fast, which clients can describe an employee within 2 minutes, and I say, yeah, they're a problem, I need to go. Well, that's a bit hasty. And I said, well, here's what I've learned from what you've told me. And a lot of it's experience too. None of it's just insight, but a lot of it's experience. And then a couple of months later, they go, yeah, you're right, I'm going to put them off. So people's the first one. You got to learn about people. And the more you learn about people, the less frustrated you get and the happier you get. Because you know how to get the best out of people, you know how to get along with people, and you start building teams around you. So that people would be the first one. The second one is every business has phenomenal opportunity for improvement without doing more. So a lot of businesses are in duplication mode, not in innovation or improvement mode. So they'll do more marketing, but they won't refine the marketing they have.
Yeah.
And that's where numbers play a part. So I kind of have a 3-step process I work with businesses. First one is I assess it. Okay, what's going on in the business? Let's talk to the business owner. Most businesses have 4 challenges. They have a problem with time. They have a problem with cash flow. They have a problem with cost-effective lead generation. They have problems with employees. Most businesses have a problem with three or four of those concurrently and have for years. So there are permanent solutions to every problem you have in business. You've got a staff problem, I can put a permanent solution in place where your staff become a team, they work without paying them high salaries, extremely happy, extremely motivated, so much so you don't have to turn up for work and you can go overseas on a holiday for 2 or 3 months, no problem at all, as many times as you like. So same with cash flow, same with marketing. You can put permanent solutions into all of them. So optimizing is what I recommend. I can optimize businesses, release hundreds of thousands of dollars in net profit increase, and I haven't even talked about lead generation at all, not once, because businesses have so much potential in them that optimization before maximization, whereas a lot of people want to get more customers. They say, well, what's your conversion rate? How much is it paying you to, how much is it costing you to get customers? What's your net profit margin? Is your business actually profitable? If it's not profitable, you're putting water into a leaky bucket. Let's plug the leaks. And so optimization is plugging profit leaks to liberate a huge amount of profit, get a team behind you that is growing your business for you and with you with ideas and innovation, etc. And so optimization is, every business has massive potential. That's what I've learned over the years. I'd start working with business. I'd say, what do you want? I want more sales. Okay. How many sales are you getting now? Don't know. How many more sales do you want before you need to hire another person? Don't know. Okay. Well, you need to measure then. And then we've got to turn your staff into a team that actually give a staff, as I say, about your business. And then just get a team so you're working on your business is easy because you're not doing everyone's job. You're not working for your employees, you're working for yourself because your employees are doing what they're supposed to do. So I've learned that you don't need to just come in and market a business. You need to optimize the business. Third one is we all have an ego, and it's human nature to go with what we think is right. And we all see evidence of what we think is right because that's how our mind works. We are blind to what is the truth. We see what our ego thinks is good so that we become right in our thinking. And so truth helps enormously with growing your business, therefore, i.e. facts, therefore measuring. And when you put numbers across every facet of business, which is the lead generation to sales, a lot of businesses are measuring leads. The whole SEO community is all about measuring leads. I measure sales because sales makes you money. Leads don't. Two different things. So measure all that. Measure what profit margin you're making on every single thing you sell, with every person considered a cost in a service or manufacturing business. There are costs of sale. So what's your ROI? What's your return on investment of marketing? What's your return on investment of every individual employee on every job that they work on? Track your cash flow, measure your numbers, and then the truth guides you. And when you make every decision with certainty because you're basing it on numbers, you almost can't not succeed because you're making very confident, very competent decisions all the time because your numbers don't lie. So that to me would be the third big thing, is just focus on numbers. Get someone who's an expert with numbers. On finance, accountants they're great with numbers, but they're great with financial numbers. They're not good with productivity numbers and not good with marketing numbers. So while they're good in one arena, you need to have people in the other three. Businesses is three basic things. Get sales, do the work attributed to the sale, and then get paid for the sale. And most businesses are not great at getting paid. They're not great at getting the sale. They're good at doing the work, but they're not good at the other two. And so they need to measure all three because that's business management. That's what I learned from Rupert Murdoch. There's three functions of business: get work, called sales and marketing, do the work, delivery or production, get paid for the work, cash flow. You got to measure all three. So that's a big one as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Tim, thank you so much. It's a great conversation. We are almost out of time. And I learned a lot from you, Tim. I can see that the people who are going to watch this one, please watch it at least 3 times because I can tell you can dissect so much out of this one. It's a summary of so much years of business experience coming from Tim Stokes. So, Tim, we are about to wrap up. I like to have your guest experience to share with other guests who come on the show. What would you say about today's guest experience on the Growth Hacking Secrets show?
Look, it was excellent, really enjoyable. It's always great to meet someone that allows you to talk about yourself a little bit. And that's a good opportunity. Hopefully I've shared some words of wisdom and shared a little bit of my experience in business, and there's some value and benefits for people that are listening.
Thank you for your kind words. Really appreciate it. Tim, what would you say as a final word?
Final word, invest in education. It's the best thing I ever did was learn about myself, learn about people, learn about this topic called business, which is completely separate to industry. And yeah, more you learn, the more you can earn, the better your life gets and the happier you become. And that's key to it all, isn't it? Become happy.
Yeah.
Love your life.
Yeah. I almost forgot, however, I apologize for this. How the Growth Hacking Secrets community, people who are watching this now or in the future, can support you?
Look, you can visit my website. There's lots of blog posts on there. Have a read of that. There's a book called Leverage that you can download. It's complimentary. It's not a long book because I find a lot of people don't want to read a long book, but it's 30 or 40 odd pages. Feedback's been good on that. I have another website called integratedteams.com.au, and there's some free training for business owners on how to find great employees, how to identify great employees in interviews, how to turn them into what I call a dream team so that they start to work autonomously. And so they grow your business for you so that you can free up your time, free up your headspace and enjoy your life more. So people can get some free training there as well. So yeah, the Profit Transformations website or the integratedteams.com.au website, either of those, that will give them some good information. So yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and visit profittransformation.com.au. It's on your screen right now. Take a screenshot if you like and send it to your friends and everything. So just curious, are you in Clubhouse?
No, I'm not. No, I've just started reading about it.
Okay.
So yeah, not yet.
Okay, when you come on a Clubhouse, let's meet on a Clubhouse too. So
All right.
Okay,
All right.
Wonderful.
Sounds great, Siddique.
Thank you so much, Tim Stokes, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.